Good morning to you and good afternoon. On behalf of Cambium Networks, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all. I am Himanshu Motial, the Regional Vice President for Cambium Networks. At Cambium, we pride ourselves in driving the next generation innovations in the field of wireless technology and connectivity. We continue to reinvest 20% of our top line revenue back into R&D to drive superior innovation and quality. Yes, 20% of our top line. And I'm particularly proud to share that many of our products are being co-designed in Asia with close feedback from yourselves, our Asian customers and partners. And that helps us drive superior and affordable quality. In our two-part webinar today, I'm very pleased we have Rad Sethuraman, who is our Vice President for Enterprise Wi-Fi and Switching Range. He will share our product strategy and portfolio. We will, on today's session, shine more light on how we're driving affordable quality and solutions, and we'll focus on our switching range. And the affordability is both in terms of the lower TCO as well as the right upfront pricing. When I think of the ongoing pandemic, I believe we have played a role collectively, all the people on this call, in rapid connectivity for both villages and metros. And I believe that the cloud managed solutions, such as what Cambium offers, did reduce outdoor exposure and deployment time. In our second part, Ron Ryan, who's Senior Vice President for our global channels, will present our global partnership program. Ron himself comes from a rich distribution background. He was the Chief Operating Officer of Hutton USA in his previous life. In Cambium, we are proud that we serve customers together with our partners. So all our transactions are enabled and fulfilled by channel partners, 100%. So if you're a customer, what that means is that we are able to enable warranty support, training, RF planning through our rich network of over 1,500 connected partners. So we have you covered in your city. And if you're a partner joining this call, what that means is that we have recognized practices that are gaining global recognition and awards that enable fair economics and equitable distribution of our products. And we will continue to invest in training and many other resources that Ron will touch upon today to keep your teams abreast of the latest so that we can serve our customers very well together. If you're not a connected partner already, I urge you to sign up as one on our portal that will allow us to communicate with you directly and systematically. So now, without further ado, I'd like to invite first up Rad Sethuraman to share his session on great features, great price. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you, Himanshu. Appreciate that introduction and welcome. Hello again, everyone. So I want to jump right into it, and I want to set some context initially in terms of, at Cambium Enterprise Solutions, our focus is to how do we deliver a mission-critical access network, an enterprise-grade access network that is simple, but yet has a lot of sophisticated capabilities to meet the varying use cases of different segments that we serve. The solution comprises of three key pieces, right? First and foremost, it's a cloud managed solution. We have cnMatrix, a cloud management solution that encompasses the entire Cambium portfolio to give a single pane of glass. It's cloud managed, but also flexible deployment options. It can be deployed on premises as well. We also completed acquisition of Cirrus Wi-Fi a year ago, almost just over a year ago. And that's brings a legacy of high performance, high density software defined radio networks that are popular in high density networks in education, large public venues, etc. So we had two of those management platforms and complemented by enterprise Wi-Fi solution, a rich set of access points, both indoor and outdoor, from value line of APs to all the way to multi-radio, high performance, high density designs, really right-sized portfolio to meet varying different use cases, all the way from small, medium enterprises to large public venues and everything in between, distributed enterprises in retail, in transportation, etc. Right? So a lot of different use cases in hospitality, education, and other verticals. We also, when we look at the market, there is increasingly wired and wireless are deployed together. And there is an opportunity to add value to a customer base by delivering a solution that is unified, switching that is wireless aware. And across the portfolio, what we deliver is simplicity, cost effectiveness, affordability, and high performance. End of the day, all networks are becoming mission critical, regardless of the size of the organization you are. And that's what we do at a very cost effective fashion. Things like zero touch deployment make it very easy and cost effective to deploy these networks. A quick look at the portfolio. Like I mentioned, broad set of access points from indoor, outdoor, specialty APs like wall plate deployments for hospitality in-room coverage. And we, after the Zirus acquisition, what we've also done is converge our portfolio. Our Wi-Fi 6 access points that we released this year are work with both the cnMaestro management solution and also the XMS cloud management solution. The end of the day, most of our customers are deploying networks more than just connectivity. Wi-Fi is a platform to deliver mission critical services. So we do have a set of application portfolio riding on top of the infrastructure, which enable use cases, easy pass for easy onboarding of devices, access control. You have XPS location, integrated location services, policy enforcement, app control capability that profiles up to 2,000 applications and applies the policies on that based on the application policy of the organization. Either drop the application or prioritize it. In addition, we lit set of APIs that can enable third-party ecosystem solutions on top. So that's our broader portfolio. And in terms of the market adoption, we've been a well-kept secret till over a couple of years ago. But then as the deployment grew, our business overall for 2019, for example, grew 82% year over year. And that has captured the attention of analysts, a lot more coverage from people like Gartner, who in the last year's Magic Quadrant, we made our first entry into the Magic Quadrant. But very quickly, along with the Magic Quadrant, they also published this critical capability solution. And Cambium was rated very high, ahead of some of the other players that you may see, that you may have heard of. The Zirus acquisition was well received. A cnMatrix solution with a policy-based automation that I will dive into a little bit more deeply as we go along was recognized as very innovative. And overall, cnMaestro and XMS received well in terms of the richness of the capability, the simplicity of the experience in managing these networks. It was just not Gartner. A lot of other analysts noticed us. Forrester, if you look at Cambium, was rated very, very highly, ahead of even vendors like Meraki and Aerohive. As did IDC, called us out as a major wireless LAN player in the industry. So this is just a ratification for us for what we already knew internally. And we are excited by the business opportunity that we have. And we're looking forward to working with our partner community, such as yourself, to drive it to the next level of growth. Very quickly on our cloud management, cnMaestro, like I said, is a very, very scalable platform built on a modern cloud technology. And really, this goes to show the scale and the adoption that we have seen with cnMaestro. This shows you a map of where the different devices are. You can see fairly globally distributed, connecting to cnMaestro on the cloud. We run on AWS, we run in multiple regions across the globe, and massively scalable and ease of use. The important thing to notice is one size doesn't fit all, right? Some organizations would want their management on premises and not on the public cloud. And we have the same experience. You can deploy it the way you want it. It can be public cloud, hosted by Cambium, private cloud, or on your own data center on a server. Best of all, cnMaestro gives you a license-free option that makes it super attractive and delivers superior total cost of ownership for our customers. So with that, I want to double click on our switching portfolio, and I want to set the context, right? If you look at your network today, there are lots of things going on, and the switch is kind of the backbone of that network. You have access point connecting to it. You have user devices like laptops or desktops that connect to it. You have phones, printers. These are traditional devices, but increasingly a lot of IoT devices. It could be from video cameras to door locks to LED lighting, a whole lot of things coming onto your network. And customers want to look at the network in a unified fashion. They don't want to have multiple overlaid networks. Everything is converged onto that network. So that's one trend. And then when you look at kind of the problems that causes network downtime, 80% of the time, and there's a lot of studies out there that talk about this, over almost 80% of the time, the network downtime results as caused by human errors. It could be misconfiguration. Somebody unplugged something in your access in your wiring closet. There are changes that are done locally that is not governed by a central policy. Security breaches, right? So a lot of things going on. You know, when an IT administrator has to manage a mission critical network, we need to find ways, solutions to need to avoid these type of errors. So what are the key requirements that are emerging, right? Centralized management that helps simplify deployments, automation wherever possible so that you minimize human errors and improve network resiliency, but doing it all at the lowest cost of ownership. That means both lower CapEx, but also how do you manage, how do you reduce the cost, an ongoing cost of running this network. cnMatrix switching, right? We have a broad portfolio, and I'll touch on some of the details. But some of the things that we focus on, I touched on cloud management and on-premises management with cnMaestro and XMS, both platform manage it. Some table stake stuff, enterprise grade layer 2, layer 3, there is a fully featured switches, right? It can stand up to any switching vendor in the industry in terms of the capabilities it bring to the table. But the key secret sauce for us is something we call policy-based automation that enables a rich set of capabilities that I will touch on that simplifies, adds, moves, and changes to the network without having a human being going and reconfigure the network. All of this done at the total cost of ownership that is superiorly attractive because we build in a lot of things like free cloud management, Cambium care support included for the price of the hardware, and attractive CapEx, solution options at different price points. So you can have the network built the way you want it based on your requirements and deliver superior TCO overall for the wireless and wired deployment. Now let me double click on what is policy-based automation. Essentially, there are three key things that we try to accomplish here. How do we make it more secure? How do we make the network more secure? How do we make the experience simple? And how do we reduce ongoing costs of operating the network? So how do we make this secure? Well, our switch can automatically profile any device connecting to the switch port, which means when a device connects, let's say it could be an access point, a video camera, you can profile it and you can assign it to the right network segment. Segmentation is key when we are bringing multiple, like IoT is joining a network. You want to have a video camera potentially in your building infrastructure segment that cannot talk to the corporate network, right? You have some logical separation of this network. And then when the device joins a network, if it's a video camera, I want to apply a policy unique to that. Or if it's an access point, I want to configure the switch port for that access point. The access point may have a couple of different VLANs defined to support that network. How do I configure that automatically? It's all rule-based configuration. And when the device connects and the rules are set up on cnMaestro, it can be also set up on the switch directly. But once the rules are set up, it knows, hey, I have an access point connecting to the network, a Cambium access point connected to the network. Let me configure the switch port and the uplink ports for that access point, and that happens automatically. So the person who did the configuration centrally sitting in front of their dashboard can be the IT expert. The person who's deploying or making these changes doesn't have to be an IT expert, right? They don't need to be an expert here. They just do the connection and the switch configures itself. And this is where I kind of talked to it a little bit early. So in terms of simplicity, the initial deployment is zero touch. Both our access point and switches, you can go to the dashboard, enter the serial number, you connect, and when the switch connects to the network, it gets automatically configured. Super easy to configure this, right? End of the day, when you look at the network, a distributed enterprise, I was talking to you recently to one of our large retail accounts in Europe, and they have over 1,800 stores. They have a network that deploys Cambium Wi-Fi APs and also Cambium cnMatrix switches. They have no IT expertise in every store. What this allows you to do, it's policy-based automation, and store networks are very dynamic. Things are getting added to the network all the time. Things are being moved around. So when somebody wants to add a new device to the network, they connect it, and the switch port gets automatically configured, so you don't have to send anybody on site, right? The other part of it is sometimes people go into the access point, they accidentally disconnect a port, or a malicious hacker gets into your wiring closet. They disconnect this device from the switch, and they can try and backdoor into that switch port. With policy-based automation, the minute you disconnect a device from the switch port gets completely wiped out. The configuration gets wiped out, so nobody can backdoor into that network, right? So again, improves security in the process as well. So that's very quickly, this is one of the things that is really, people who try it absolutely love it, and this is a key differentiator for our portfolio. I touched on, the cnMatrix 2K series was the one that we had released earlier, very broad portfolio, and we extended the portfolio with 8 new switches or 4 new switches in the 2K line earlier part of this year, right? All the way from 8-port PoE, non-PoE version to 48-port PoE, non-PoE. We also have a flexible power options on one of the models, where you can choose based on the power budget you want to drive on the 48-port switch, a CRPS power supply to meet your requirements. The 2016M in the middle, that's a switch with multi-gig interfaces. It can support 2.5 gig interfaces. It supports 802.3 BT, 60 watts of power, ideally suited for 11AX Wi-Fi 6 deployments. I'll touch on the positioning of these switches in a little bit later. The best part of this is when you buy the switch, and I've just given you a point of view here on MSRP, best is talk to your distributor, because there may be some regional dependencies on the pricing, but this gives you a point of view, very competitively priced for the feature set that we deliver. And included with that price is license-free cloud management, cnMaestro. It also includes XMS support. Cambium Care support is included, and 5-year warranty on our switches, right? Now, I want to introduce the 1K line. With our 2K products, we deliver fairly superior capabilities in terms of multi-gig interfaces, 10-gig interface uplinks on the ports, etc. But there are situations where budget is a predominant consideration. People don't need that 10-gig interfaces. They want less power budget at a lesser price point, and that's what we are trying to solve. And they don't want layer 3 functionality. They want only layer 2. So 1K series is a fully managed line of switches, deliver layer 2 capabilities. It also does support static routing and enhance access security. And there are 4 different models, 8-port PoE and non-PoE, and 24-port PoE and non-PoE. It's exactly the same in terms of what comes with the hardware. Again, 5-year support at this price point If you start to compare with some lower end switches out there, this is a very compelling proposition. License-free cloud management. Almost nobody in the industry does a license-free cloud management with this level of sophistication. So we're very proud of this offer. I think it's very well suited for the price-sensitive segments that you may be serving, and certainly give it a shot if you haven't already done so. So quickly on what's the difference between 1K and 2K, right? This one summarizes it. End of the day, it comes down to uplink ports on the. I just took the. If you look at the 28 port PoE, compare it with the 1028p versus the 2028p. 10 gig uplink ports on the 2 gig on the 2K series, 1 gig uplinks on the 1K. There is an out of band management port on the 2K that doesn't exist on the 1K. The power budget on the 24 port switch is 400 watts for the EX 2028. It's 200 watts, right? And there is no layer 3. There's no dynamic routing. We do still, like I mentioned earlier, static routing is supported, but the rest of the things are same. I mean, full feature set, layer 2, policy-based automation is available on both. 5-year warranty available on both. Virtual stacking, that's a pretty cool feature. Now you can create a switch group and have multiple switches in that group and manage it as a single entity. Very powerful feature, and that's included in cnMatrix cloud management as well as in XMS. When you look at the 8K, the 8-port product, the primary difference is on the power budget, right? 100 watts on the 2K versus a 75 watts on 1K. And of course, same thing, layer 2 only on the 1K product, layer 2, layer 3 on the 2K product. All right, so that's in a nutshell the difference between these two line of products, and that helps to kind of drive a positioning, right? When you kind of look at how do I position these products, the EX2K, the multi-gig switch is a good choice if you're looking at a Wi-Fi 6 deployment. End of the day, if you look at it, switches, people keep it for a longer time. Wi-Fi AP is probably 3 to 5 years. Switches are maybe 5 to 7 years. Some people keep it for longer, right? So when you're deploying a new switch, it's good to future-proof that network. Wi-Fi 6 is going to be the future. So if the situation warrants it, I think starting with the EX2K, the multi-gig switch, ideally suited for Wi-Fi 6 deployment, is a good choice. The EX2K 8, 24, and 48 port are also good choices because they give you flexibility, it gives you the performance headroom, and the port density options based on what the port density requirements are on that network. And then finally, if the situation warrants, its cost is the overriding, solution price is the overriding decision criteria, then the EX1K gives you a lot of choices, 8 and 24 port options, PoE, non-PoE. So I would recommend that start looking at this from the 2K line, and as if the budget is a constraint, then the 1K products are really good. I mean, it's a very value priced product, but with all the richness in terms of feature set and cloud management. All right, so that's a very quick look at the positioning. Like I said, just a summary statement here is EX2K is a good product to look at because it future-proofs the network as we go forward. I would like to then spend a few minutes on just giving you a sense of how the dashboard looks. I talked a little bit about cloud management. cnMaestro is, you can set up, if you don't have an account, you can go to cloud.cambiumnetworks.com and you can use a company credentials, you can create an account. There is no price for the account. And what this allows you to do is, if you have an access point or a switch, you can onboard that and start managing that device from your cloud account. So this is a quick dashboard. I'm going to focus this on on switching, like, because that's been the double click on this session. But you can see it's on the left. Gives you the panel where you can look at different aspects. You can look at your you can manage the network. You can look at the inventory, what you have, etc. There is also a feature. If you're an MSP, you have managed services. You're running a managed service operation. cnMatrix gives you a flexible option. It gives you MSP features where you get to see a dashboard with all of your customer accounts, and your customers, your tenants will only be able to see their own network. You also get branding functionality where you can put your brand on the dashboard that your customer sees. So that's another powerful feature in cnMatrix. But here, what I'm showing you is a site level view. So you can say, in this case, hey, this is my San Jose home. I have a few APs and I have a cnMatrix switch, the cnMatrix 2028P in here. So this gives you all my devices. I can look at the Wi-Fi devices that I have. There are 6 in total. One of them is offline on the top. And I'm looking at the cnMatrix. Once you click on it, it's context driven. Once I click on that top button, then it starts to expand on that particular piece, that network. So this gives you a dashboard at the site level, right? Now, this is a dashboard. Now I want to go to that cnMatrix 2028P. I want to look at the details of the switch. Now I get to your dashboard, a visual representation of the switch ports. What this shows here is all the red. If you look at the box that says port status on the top, well, the uppermost box gives you overall status of the switch in terms of, hey, total throughput, how long has it been up, etc. The next one layered down below is port status. All the red items there means there's nothing. Those ports are not active, nothing connected to them. And you see that little blue and green boxes with a little thing on the edge there. That tells me, hey, that's a PoE port, and there is something connected and drawing power from that port. If you see a green box without that little circle at the left top, that is a regular port. There's something connected. There is no power being supplied, right? So you get a quick status of the switch. You can also get to see what the packet level flows are, etc. So you get details about the switch model. You get details about what's happening with the switch. You get details about the port. So you can actually hover over these ports and get additional data, right? That's what I'm doing here. If I go to select one of the ports and I say, well, let me look at port 15, what's happening over there. Now you can start to see visually and in the table below, hey, what's the status? You know, what's connected to it? There is an AP that is connected to this port. The port is up, and you can see the rest of the status, right? So very quickly you can, if there is a problem, you can quickly zoom in and monitor your network. And this you can do from your dashboard for a variety of different switches, right? And let me touch on one more thing. I mean, I can go a little bit longer on this stuff, but I will pause on this one. I'll try to summarize my section and hand it over to Ron to cover the channel program. So why cnMatrix, right? When you're looking at networks, especially if you're doing a Cambium Wi-Fi, I will encourage you to add a Cambium cnMatrix switch to the mix, because your wired wireless management experience is going to be superior, like some of the highlights we went through, right? So it's a comprehensive access layer solution, cloud management for Wi-Fi and switching. Zero-touch provisioning, policy-based automation are key capabilities that simplifies networks, reduces errors, and simplifies operations overall. Improve your security, auto segmentation, being able to bring together many logical segments, but keeping them separate within the same network. Device profiling, policy enforcement, all help to maintain the security posture of your network. Policy-based automation, again, reduces manual configuration errors, right? Improves your network resiliency. And overall, when you kind of look at this from a CapEx CapEx is only one part, right? You make that upfront expense. You're going to keep the switch and the network for a long time. It's about also reducing the ongoing costs, which is a significant portion of your network costs, overall TCO, that's significantly enhanced with a combination of our cloud management, cnMatrix, and Wi-Fi. I just wanted to close with a quote. We have Gartner Peer Insights. You can do a Google search, you can go there, you can actually see customer reviews on Cambium. And I just picked one from there, right? Exceptional performance. cnMatrix is easy to deploy and manage. The performance is exceptional compared to other brands which we used. Our user productivity has increased 10% after deploying cnMatrix and cnPilot. This is from a healthcare customer in the APAC region, actually. So, and there are lots of good examples like this, a lot of good customer references and quotes about our solution. So, with that, we are very excited. We are very excited with the overall solution. We are very excited by the portfolio extension we have done on cnMatrix switches. And I think you will find the product capabilities and the economics are super attractive. So with that, I will close my section. I will invite Ron to talk about the ConnectedPartner program.
Thank you, Rad. Good morning and afternoon to all the listeners. As Himanshu said, my name is Ron Ryan, and I am the channel chief for the company, run the channel globally. And again, a little of my background is I come from the channel, was in distribution, actually started out as a value-added reseller my early years, and then went through the distribution business and just about every role there is to do in distribution. And so when I came to Cambium, it was my stated objective to ensure that we truly ran a program that was for the benefit of the partners. And I'm really proud to say that we have done a pretty good job of putting that program together, and it is supported all the way through the company. We start with the fact that we are a channel-based company, meaning that we don't do any direct business other than some federal business that we do in the US, which is contractually obligates us. 99% of our business as a company goes through a channel partner. So what we do, the way we can manage so many partners, and I'll tell you how many we have here in a second, but we have created the Connector Partner program as a way of motivating and incentivizing our partners. And with that comes our portal, and our portal really is the way that we communicate, we educate, we enable, and reward our partners through that whole portal process. The program itself is a 3-year, 5-star award-winning program with CRN, and we believe that it's best in class. And the goal of the partner program and the portal usage is to make selling Cambium easy for our partners. We do believe in our partners making money, and so everything we do, we look at what is the value proposition and what is the compensation to make sure that we're all making a fair profit in this. We don't want people to do business at their expense for us. Without realizing some profit in that. So we know you have to make money, and we design the program and the margins appropriately. So if you would, Rad, just advance the slide for me. So if you've not been in our portal, or in this particular view, by the way, is assuming that you already have at least one seat in the portal. So if you're on this call and your company is already a partner, that means that you have, someone has gone in and logged in the portal. So this would be just for the person who is trying to get access to the portal for your company as another user. If you're a partner, or if you're a person on this call who is not a partner today, would like to join up, you would go to our www.cambiumnetworks.com, and look for the partner, become a Cambium partner. You click on that, it'll take you to the sign up screen. That's the long form. Either way, you can get there by typing in the address there, channel.cambiumnetworks.com. So what this basically is just to tell you, there's a long form and a short form. So if you've already got like I said, if you're already a partner and you already have a seat on there, you should be getting the short form. And if you're not seeing the short form, then you'll need to contact somebody at partner at cambium.networks.com for assistance to get that done the right way without the long form. Go ahead, next slide, please. So I'm going to spend some time. The best way to tell you about the portal is to actually walk you through some of the key screens and some of the key features of the portal itself. So right now you're looking at the home screen, and it's your dashboard, and this can be customized, and I'll show you some examples of that. But it can be something that you put together and organize it the way you want to. Also has a lot of information that's very specific to your account. So if you look at the home screen itself, essentially you'll see that you have access to a lot of the functions that you'll need. On the left-hand side, you'll see all those little pictures on the side left. Is that each one of those represents an area in the dashboard. So with this particular one, we'll be looking at the home screen itself and where you go from there. And I think this is Rad. This is not showing something. It's not showing the artwork that goes with it. So not sure how we can remedy that. But if you'll go, so there we go. Okay, so so when you get into the things that we're going to focus on today is deal registration, a registration to get into partner webinars, use the content from our social marketing plans, and sign up for notices, read the weekly marketing tip. These are all things that you can see in the quick links. And I'm going to talk a little bit about each one of these, so you don't have to go through these now, but the ones that you want to focus on here, so go back, I'm sorry, did not advance yet. There we go. You're going to want to make sure that you sign up for channel notices. That just tells you when we send something out, we normally try to make the piece appropriate for what you've signed up for. So make sure you sign up. If you don't sign up, you're going to have to come in here and check all the time what's available. If you sign up and you tell us what you're interested in, we'll make sure that you only get that. And when you get the notice, you can just click right back over to it. So, and then there's a weekly marketing tip as well that you can sign up and get as well. Next one, next screen. So a couple of other things about this is in this, click again, Brad. As this is going to just go ahead and build it out. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So for the dashboard itself, this is the bottom of it. There's a list of calendar events that are kind of coming up. There's another screen that I'll show you where all the calendar events are on there. But we try to put the ones that are coming up quickly in this section here, so you can quickly view what upcoming events there are and see what you want to be a part of. And then there at the very bottom is where you can start to customize your own screen, where you can pin content from the portal into your own dashboard. And I'll show you why you'll want to use some of that for some marketing functions and some things you put together for prospects. Next slide. You go ahead and build it out. Okay. So there we go. So on the left-hand side, you can see the green box where the picture that it's highlighting, which is going to take you to channel notices. When you get to this screen, this is extremely valuable because, again, we send a lot of notices out. We don't always send them to everybody. We only do it by what you pick. So if you want to come in and look for something that you that you think you saw, or you need to find something that was sent to you before, we've created a real simple way to do this. You can filter by type, by category. You can also change your view to the view grid or the list. I use the list. I think it's the quickest way to find something. But the category is also helpful because it'll eliminate a lot of things if you're looking for something very specifically. So kind of an important tool. And again, this is where you're going to go for all of the communications that we send to you, which would be any kind of partner bulletins or any kind of distributor notices. Okay, next slide. You can go ahead and build that one out. Yep. So the next one is the learning tracks. We have a tremendous number of programs, training modules, and marketing resources. This is a place you can go where you can learn. You can type what you want in terms of the type of thing you're looking for, and filter out what you don't want to see or what you want to see. But you can find all your modules. There's use cases, case studies. There's all kinds of things in this area. So when you get in here, you can spend a lot of time in here. And if you're really ambitious, you can send us things that you have that might be case studies or things that we would also look at potentially putting in here for your benefit as well, for your own customers. Next slide, Brad. Go ahead and build that one out. There we go. So again, left icon takes you to the content and resources. The nice thing about this is that all of the content and resources that we have are shareable right from the portal itself. You don't have to copy and paste anything, so you can send it. You can actually send it through your email client directly to the portal, directly to a social media account that you have, or out of your own email system. So again, content and resources, tons and tons of information in this section. You can go in here, you can easily find things by vertical, by type of product, by use case, all those different things. And also we do have some other languages that things are supported in. So don't have everything in there, but we're working to get all the major languages in there. So if it's not there now, look in the future, and it will likely be in a language that may be more appropriate for your market. The other thing about this is when I told you on the home page that you can pin your content to your dashboard, this is an example of that. So you could take one of these things and just say, hey, I want to remember this one or have easy access to it. You can just pin it to your home page and have quick access to it. You don't have to go look for it again. Next slide, please. Okay, so another thing that we've done to make it easy for you is something that we call Playbooks. And what this basically is that we have tried to organize all of the resources in these big databases so that they're all grouped together. So if you're looking for something very specific to a topic, you can find a playbook already built out for you. You can see on this screen the various categories and groups of content that we've put together. Things like pricing info, lists, marketing resources. Promos are a big one. We get calls from people all the time saying, what promos are you running, or are there promos? If you go to the playbook section or pin this to your homepage, you can essentially just take this promo playbook, open it up, and it'll show you. So if you go to the next page, Brad, I'll show you what that looks like. You can also have personal playbooks. You can build your own personal playbooks. That's another point. Next one. Okay, so this particular one is the playbook for marketing resources, and you can see what we put in here. This is not exhaustive. It kind of goes down. There's a lot more. But again, these are things that are available to you. And our objective with creating every marketing piece that we do as a company is to make it a through partner co-branded email or any other kind of way you want to use it. What that really means is that we want to make sure that if you want to advertise something to one of your customers, your end customers, we set it up so that you can take the marketing piece itself. You can put your own copy on it. You can put your own address, your own name, so it will look like the information is coming or something that you created. So again, we want to make it easy for you to grab something. I'll have all the Cambium content on there, but make it look personalized coming from you. Next slide. Okay, here's another example. Here's that. Oh, go back. Promotions playbook. And again, this is where you'll have all the promotions will be in this playbook. But these are, all the details, images, banners, the flyer copies, everything you would need for this promotion if you wanted to send it out to a list of customers and say, hey, Cambium's running this promotion. You may want to think about, buying a few backup switches, or if you got a program, or if you got something you're working on, jump in there now and you may want to buy early. So whatever it is, there'll be something in here that will tell you where to go and all about the promotion, and then ways to promote it all the way through to your customer. Very useful. Next one, Brad. The calendar is also a good place to go for looking more in advance than what you're going to see on the homepage. So this has everything on it for public webinars. You can register for any of the events in this calendar. We also have a partner-only webinar. We have that monthly. So we have at least one of those that's only specifically for you, and it wouldn't be for your customers or anyone else that's not a Cambium partner. We share a little bit more intimate things on that, maybe roadmaps, things like that. And also, if you have an event, if you're doing an event, a training event for Cambium or a trade show event or something like that, you can send that to us and at that partner.com address, and you can get this listed in the calendar, so we advertise it for you as well. Okay, but again, you can share these icons with these switches directly from the portal itself, so that you can push it out to social media or whatever method you use to communicate. Okay, next slide. This one, I have found this one, and I think the most feedback we get basically has been this this tool. It's really a powerful tool. We call it their prospect pages. What this allows you to do is to personalize a sales call or a pre-sales call or post-sales call to a customer who is interested in the Cambium product portfolio and your services. So you can market this to partners and customers, and this is a custom page that you're building. So you're putting together kind of a presentation of your personal capabilities, the value adds you're going to provide to it. You can put a video in to do that. You can put in text to do that. You can add all the shareable content from the portal in here. So say somebody's got some project they're looking at, you could take what Rad just shared with Matrix and Wi-Fi and all that, and you can push that out into this list, and you can send it in a really nice package to your customer and show them all the things that you can do for him representing Cambium. Next slide. Okay. We get down now to what are some things that are useful from the monetary standpoint. And two things we do with deal registration. First of all, what we do is we protect you. So if you come into this portal and you click on the button to register a new deal, you can see it up there on the right-hand side. You'll fill out some information about the company that you're trying to sell to, and you'll submit that. And our team, our RSM team on the ground, will basically look to make sure nobody else is working on that deal. And if we determine that nobody is, we will register the deal to you. We'll prove it to be registered, right? So it gives you the kind of the fail-safe to say, if I invest time with Cambium, Cambium's going to support me. So we're not going to work with anybody else who comes to us later if you are the one that holds the deal registration. Okay, so your deals and your status of the deals will be located on this page. It's very important to remember one thing, is that you will not get an actual deal reg number until you finalize the design that you want us to protect for you. So it's going to require you have all the time during the you have an approved deal reg, but without a number. You'll have all the time to make the changes that you want with the customer. You can change the part numbers around, you can move things around, but once you lock it in as this is the deal, you'll actually get a deal reg number, and that you will take to your distributor, where there are various discounts applied to different parts. So you could benefit from a deeper discount on some parts that qualify for that. So again, it's monetary reward and it's protection. So this is where you would put those in, and this is where you would find them after they've been approved, and where you would update the data for us to lock it in and make sure. Now the distributors will also, the one you select, you can advance, Rad. You can when you put in the deal registration, you'll pick a distributor, and that distributor will also see the ID in advance. So if you don't have the ID and you know you have it, all you do is go to the distributor and say, hey, can you look at this? And they'll be able to find it for you and to tell you whatever monetary value there is for it. Okay, last slide. So we do have marketing funds available. That is under the MDF section. You can see that down at the bottom. It's the last little box on the left-hand side is what you'd click on. You'd approve. There's also in the portal itself, it'll tell you the types of things that qualify. You just need to make sure you stay within those ranges, and you can ask for funds. Those are available as they're available. Each RSM has a certain budget allocated to them. So it'll, it's first come, first serve type thing, but this is where you would make the request, and then the status of those would be there. And then when you want to collect the money after you've claimed it, you would go back in here and click on it, and then give the proof that it was done and make the claim to get the money back. So this is just a quick overview of what's available in the portal and all the program elements that go with it. So any questions with this, certainly you can go to that address and ask those questions. We'll help you out all we can. There's tutorials, there's all kinds of things that'll self-service in here, but hopefully that gives you an overview and we'll get you excited about jumping in here. If you're not signed up, get signed up and start using it. So appreciate the time. I guess we can go to questions, Roy.
Thanks, Ron. There have been a number of questions, of which I have answered quite a few. There was a question about eligibility for ISPs to the program. Perhaps you can explain how that works for MSPs, enterprise players, and direct customers.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's been a bit of a challenge because there's a lot of elements in this program that don't necessarily apply to an ISP who's doing their own network. There's no deal reg, for example, for you, lighting up housing in a territory of, some city or town or whatever. But if it is an enterprise-based type of thing, or you do work for, there's a lot of ISPs that do work. They don't run the networks, but they'll do installs for state and local government, things like that. In that case, we do let the ISPs into the portal, and we do support those kinds of things. We are right now, just in fact, I had a meeting early this morning. We are now designing a service provider program, which will have its own portal. So eventually everybody will go over to that side. But in the meantime, for those that are in the enterprise space, either MSP or ISP, and you're doing work for, for other companies besides your own network, we would still put you in here, and the rules would apply.
Thanks, Ron. Rad, there's a question here. What is the difference between cnMaestro and XMS?
Yeah, it's just seeing that. Yeah, I think cnMaestro, I'll explain that first, which is essentially one of the things key of cnMaestro, it supports the entire Cambium portfolio, including our fixed wireless assets, and you can get an end-to-end view of the portfolio there. And the XMS, cnMaestro is a license-free option. XMS came with a Xeris acquisition. It works with the existing Xeris portfolio of APs. It also works with the Wi-Fi 6 portfolio. By the way, the Wi-Fi 6 portfolio and the cnMatrix portfolio are supported both by XMS and cnMaestro. The primary difference on the cnMaestro side, it also has a couple of cool applications on top. EasyPass, if you're deploying in an education setting, or in an enterprise setting where they want BYOD use cases, education, they want to be able to onboard student devices. It has things like seamless integration with Google G Suite and Azure. So what you see in a lot of schools, the students are using one of those platforms. They may be using Google Docs. So when they sign up for Google Docs, they can automatically get onboarded to the Wi-Fi network. So some seamless authentication options. And XMS is a licensed subscription model on that. But at the high level, those are the key differences. Typically, you would pick cnMaestro if you have existing Xeris install base with existing Xeris APs, or a Wi-Fi 6 customer who's looking for more of some of those application function, app control, EasyPass type of use cases, then XMS makes a good is a good solution to pursue. If you want more of a if you have fixed wireless and Wi-Fi combined, or you want more of a cost-effective option for cloud management, cnMaestro gives you those choices.
Thanks, Rad. There's another question here about policy-based automation and virtual stacking. Is this a unique selling proposition for Cambium, or what about other competitors like Aruba in the market?
Yeah, certainly. I think policy-based automation and how we have implemented it, I think people would have had some level of leverage, some of the capabilities, LDP on the switches, but how we have implemented it, combining everything with a cloud management dashboard, device profiling, and the rules definition. By the way, I didn't touch on this. There's a flexible rules engine that you can create your own rules. You may have a device that is unique to your environment. You can create your own rule for that. So if you look at the overall package, Cambium Solutions brought it together very, very nicely. That is very, very unique. Virtual stacking is something I think there are some other vendors who do something similar, especially some of the cloud management type solutions. So that not every vendor does it, but we have this capability. Right? I don't know about Aruba having this or not. I think like Meraki has some of that functionality.
Brad, there's a question here. The question is, we need a 10 gig fiber layer 3 switch or core switch.
Yes, I've heard that from Richard before. Hey, Richard. Yes, no, we are building out the portfolio. We want a take care of the access layer. Certainly, this is something in the the request is there, and we are looking at that. But I don't have a committed product roadmap around that.
There's a question about stacking and link aggregation, Rad, and there was a similar question around virtual stacking. Perhaps you could just talk about how the actual virtual stacking is implemented.
Yeah, let me touch on that. So I think if you look at physical stacking, where you have the switches all can be physically stacked for aggregation of the backplane, etc. That part of it we have not implemented. And again, those solutions, the minute you add stacking and stuff, I think the solution price also goes up, right? Some of those competing solutions, they tend to be significantly more expensive. So that's something that we have not done. Virtual stacking gives you the management simplicity. Now from our cloud management dashboard, be it XMS, be it cnMaestro, you can group a set of switches and use them as to be in the same administrative domain. So you can push a policy that can be applied to all of those switches, software upgrades, things like that. So it allows you to manage a group of switches as a single entity. So it gives you that functionality from a management perspective, not from the data aggregation perspective. I think link aggregation was the other part of it. I think that is something that we support. But yeah, the physical stacking is not supported in our switches.
Thanks, Rad. I think that's most of the questions that have been answered. Men's asked a question about policy-based automation being Cambium specific, but I think you answered that already. That the way we've implemented it is specific to Cambium. And
yeah.
Also, I mean, the way we've done it on our layer 2, the value of these layer 2 products at such a cost-effective price, but also supporting policy-based automation is unique to Cambium. So I think that brings the question and answer session to the end. Thanks so much, Rad and Ron, for taking the time out, and all of you for attending the webinar. Thanks very much.
Thank you all. Appreciate you all attending today as well. And if you have any further questions, please do reach out to us.
Just finally, to everyone on the call, we will make the presentation content available, and there'll be a recording of the presentation available as well.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.